Hello, everyone. It is Steph. This is my last video in my series on Mike Michalowicz's book, Profit First. We've taken a look at some of the ways in which decisions affect profit, how to be more consistently profitable, and just in general, how to become better, more mindful stewards of our resources and more mindful of how cash circulates in and out of the business. So if you haven't checked out those videos already, I encourage you to go back a few videos and look at the rest of the series. But today I want to focus on something that very much directly affects profit, and that is good clients versus bad clients. So we want to clone our good clients. We want as many good clients as possible because good clients have a relationship with our business that is respectful. There's an understanding that we are here to provide a product or a service to the very best of our ability and to create a great customer experience. And in return for that, they appreciate what it is that we're offering and they are willing to compensate us appropriately for that, right? That is the understanding and that is the relationship. And those clients you can serve all day, every day with pleasure. They are the rock your business is built upon. Conversely, bad clients suck time, suck money, suck morale. They just suck. So take a look at your book of business and reflect on these 7 signs, because it doesn't take many people in your business to have a significant toxic presence. So sign number 1, you dread a client's every text, email, or phone call. Sign number 2, the client nitpicks every expense and insists that tasks should take less time, even though they have no idea what it takes to actually provide that product or service. Sign number 3, emergency requests are the only type of requests this particular client makes. Sign number 4, lack of client follow-through and responsiveness prevents any progress to their own project. Sign number 5, your client loves to micromanage you because for some reason they don't have anything else to do. Sign number 6, delegation is a skill completely foreign to your client, making them a bottleneck. And sign number 7, they either can't afford you or they never pay on time. Now, that last one in particular has a very direct impact on your profitability. And for the bonus, I'm going to add something because this comes up a lot in coaching, particularly lately, and I want to make sure that you kind of check in with yourselves on this one. If you provide a product or a service, and it's probably more service-based, but sometimes products are involved in inventory and shipping, and you're waiting on other people in order to have the building blocks to do the project, right? That's involved. If you have a long-term engagement with a client that goes for multiple weeks or months, but you have to front load expenses, you have labor involved, maybe you have materials and supplies and whatnot, at a minimum, it's a good idea to have a deposit, a midpoint payment, and then a third payment upon completion. Most sane and reasonable clients will be amenable to that arrangement, because here's what happens when they aren't. You wind up front loading all of the cash that is required to execute their project, which is essentially lending them money for free. And then upon completion, they expect to be invoiced, and then they don't cut checks for another 30 to 60 days, depending upon what their payable cycle is. So you could wind up lending your client money to execute their project for free for up to 90 days. And that just sucks cash out of circulation. And it doesn't end there, because then when you do that for the next client who won't honor different payment terms, you've already taken this cash out of circulation, and then you have to take even more out to fund the next project, and around you go. So by the time you get paid on past projects, all you're doing is using it to fund the next. And I've seen this happen with a lot of industries like restoration, large scale commercial printing, web development, things where the project is stretched out over time. So have payment terms in place that are fair and reasonable to both parties so that you have the resources that you need at the beginning, the middle, and by the end of the project that cover everything that is associated with executing that work on behalf of your client. Again, a sane and reasonable client is not going to have an issue with that. This is a litmus test to sniff out who is not sane and reasonable and who doesn't have a problem sucking cash out of your business. And that is a kind of client where you coach them on how to be a good client, or maybe you invite them to find another vendor, because those clients will destroy your cash flow. So I would say that's the 8th sign of a bad client, is one that is not agreeable to reasonable payment terms. So think about those signs, kind of reflect on your book of business. I appreciate, I'm in a position where I get to choose my clients because I have a small boutique practice. There are other businesses that are dealing with just the general public and more volume, but you can still set the tone for how you want people to behave when they come into your space, interact with you and your team, and how they show gratitude and appreciation for what it is that you are trying to create and deliver for them. This is a relationship. It doesn't have to be a particularly deep one. Again, if you're dealing with hundreds of clients over the course of the month, but it can be a cordial one, and it can be one that is respectful. I think relationships that are not respectful are fundamentally not profitable. So that is food for thought. That is my last video on Profit First. Next month, I'm going to start a series on Gino Wickman's Traction. This is a book that I've read years ago that a client actually introduced me to, and I'm very grateful because there are good nuggets in this book. And ironically, the book Traction has gained a lot of traction in that period of time, and more people are starting to implement it. So I thought I would comment on that. So I will see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the rest of this one, and I'll see you soon. Bye.